Greetings, African people, wherever you are. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, I'd like to welcome you to Holistic African Spirituality, and our topic, we'll be talking about energy vampires today. Because a lot of people think that vampires are just in movies, forgetting that vampires sometimes and many a times are actually human beings. And I want to talk about energy vampires in relationships and in marriages. And this is this topic, I'm addressing it as a practitioner of African spiritualism, and I many times to talk about Christianity. I don't want to talk about saying I compare African spirituality with Christianity. There is no comparison, because as I've said earlier on in my recordings, is that African spirituality is the oldest spiritual system on earth, and Christianity is fairly new. is a fairly new religion, just some few thousands, 2,000, some few hundred years old. But when you talk about African spirituality, it dates many years. We're going back hundreds of thousands, millions of years, and so there's no comparison. It's like, apples and oranges. What are you gonna compare? It's like day and night. So I'm addressing this from the perspective of African spirituality, as a practitioner of African spirituality. And in order to sort of demystify a lot of issues that I see within black Christians, and because Christianity has given a lot of Africans, whether in Africa or in the diaspora, false hopes, and many lives have been destroyed and continue to be destroyed because of this false hope, this false narrative about a savior who will take care of all your problems and who will mend your relationships, etc. Now, when I talk about energy vampires in relationships, and especially in marriages, people do ask, how do I know if this is the right person, or what will I do if because this person is doing this? Should I persevere? They've been doing this for years. And I always tell people this, right? The best way to know how a person is to ask yourself this question, right? Do you feel drained whenever you're with them? Do they drain you? Do you feel drained? Do you feel that every time you have a conversation with them, every time you're around them, you feel literally drained? You don't have any energy whatsoever. These are energy vampires. They're human beings whose main objective is to drain your energy, and by so doing they drain your life, because whenever you feel that drained, you can't go forward in life. You cannot. I've seen, as a matter of fact, yesterday with some guys, we were talking about a family that we know of, and this married woman, we were talking amongst ourselves, and we were like, we can't remember her smiling. She's never, maybe all the years that I've known her, maybe she's not smiled more than 5 times. Why? because she got married to a guy who does not love her. And all her years, she's always tried, year in, year out. She's tried, and she always tries to make the husband love her. Now the husband has a lover, and we know that lover, right? Because there are people that we know. And now there are children involved in this whole thing. And this is just one example of many examples out there. Now, why is it that this woman looks, if you meet her, she looks as if she's carrying the burdens of the entire town or entire city. It's like she's carrying, and of course she's carrying something, because she's always drained. Because the husband or the ex, you don't even know whether it's the ex, because sometimes he's with her, or next time he's with this other woman, the lover, and all that kind of stuff. But she's always drained. And you guessed right, she's a Christian. She's been told by many preachers that God will bring her husband back to her. It's been many years, it's never happened. So every time she's persevered, she's gone through this, hoping on a daily basis that this will happen. And every day she's drained. Her energy is drained. So energy vampires are real, and energy vampires are there to destroy your life by you allowing them to destroy your life. So you ask yourself, one of the questions I was asking yesterday was like, why does she do that? Why would you want to force someone who doesn't, clearly they do not love you, they don't care about you? Why would you want to waste your time, spend your time trying to make them love you? But the energy vampires, every time they meet you or they open their mouths, they're saying something nasty. They're saying something to make you feel bad about everything, about the day, about your life, about how you look. These are energy vampires. I'll give an analogy of a smartphone. If you have a smartphone and there's an app on that phone, and every time you use that app, it consumes over 90% of your power. So every time you're using that app, you can charge your phone 100%, but every time you open that app, it uses 90% of your power. And you keep telling yourself that, oh yeah, the app will change, or the guys who developed the app will change. But every time you say that, you have to recharge your phone. And every time you recharge your phone, you click it, it drains 90% of your power. See, it's a roller coaster. It never ends. So people are there asking, how do I know that this is the right person to be with? How do they make you feel? Are you energized every time you meet them? Because they're people you meet, they're strangers you meet. They're people you meet in your life, strangers, and that meeting or that moment you have with them, you feel energized. You feel like as if they've recharged you. They've done something to you that you cannot explain, that recharges you, that gives you that drive to go out there and do stuff. And others, you have spent time with them like 5-10 minutes, and you're like, oh my, I need to get out of here. Because they're energy vampires. They have a very negative energy, right? And they sort of connect to you in a very interesting way, and they drain you. Unfortunately, there are people today who are living with such partners. Every time they open their mouths, every time they call them, every time they call you, every time they text you, every time, I've seen this so many times. I've gone to parties, I've gone to family gatherings, I've gone to places, and you can see them. You can see that the partners are scared of saying something because they don't want to upset the energy vampire. Because they know if they say something, this guy is gonna, or this woman will say something. It happens both ways. It's not about the issue of it's not men. It's a human being thing, right? But it's more evident in men in doing that than in women. Women are a bit subtle. When they do it, you wouldn't realize, you wouldn't know it unless you experienced. But energy vampires are real. So how do all these foreign religions deal with that, with this issue? They do not tell people the truth, because you need to understand, and people need to understand that there are people are married to their partners that they should not have been married to. People are living with partners they should not be living with. They should not even have had anything to do with them. Why? They literally drain you. They drain your energy. They drain your goals. They drain your ambitions. They drain your aspirations. They drain everything. Haven't you met people who are married who are beautiful, and you meet them after a few months and you're like, they say hi to you and you're like, who is this? And you're like, oh my God, this is so and so. Because the few months that we spend with this guy, or the few months they've spent with the woman, the wife, drained completely. They're gone. Unfortunately, some don't make it. Some do not make it. But they go through this experience hoping, because these energy vampires, it's their essence. That's the way they are, and they don't change for you. They're not going to change for you. They're not going to stop being nasty because of you, because that's who they are. That's their essence. Until they decide one day to get rid of that energy and invite the positive energy in their lives. Now, in African spirituality, you'll be told the truth. If you go to an African seer, they'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you, get away from that guy. You do not need to be with them. They'll never change. Get away from that woman. You don't need to be with them. They'll never change. You should not have. And they'll tell you should not have married her. You should not have married him. Do you know, even living in different places, geographical positions, there are places people should not go. There's places people should not live. Sometimes even changing your geographical position, your area, the way you live, means everything. Because you go to a place where the energy is right for you to be the best version of yourself. But if you live in certain places, you will never ever do anything. You never grow. Why? Because that place drains you, drains your energy. There's something about different places that you go there and you're like, oh, I feel this is a crazy place. Every time I visit this place, I feel weak. I feel tired. I feel confused. It's because life is about energy. It's about energies, right? You need to understand that. It's about frequencies. It's about vibrations, right? But in foreign religions, you don't hear this. They always tell you about it, the spirit, the devil, it's Satan, it's this. No, you need to understand that this boogeyman called Satan isn't here nor there. It's you need to understand the other realities in life. And so when you are with this energy vampire in your life, and you're hoping that they're going to change, or you're hoping just before you get married, they will change, or they'll make me they'll make me feel good about myself. That's another topic, because no one should make you feel good about yourself other than you. But that's I'll talk about that some other time, right? You need to feel good about, you are responsible for feeling good about yourself, and you need to love yourself first. You need to think positive of yourself first. You need to do everything that you think of first. That's your responsibility. The positive or the virtues or whatever you think of, the wonderful things, nice things, good things, you are responsible for such, not anyone else. But that's a different topic. Today is about energy vampires. So what do you do on your phone? If you're wise and an app keeps draining your phone, right, every time you click it, it uses 90% of the power. If you're wise, you get rid of that app. You just drag it and uninstall it. Same with people. You need to drag people and install them out of your life. Easy. Someone is draining you, you're like draining your energy. You recognize that the energy vampires, right? They feed on your energy and they leave you dry, they leave you with no power whatsoever. You get rid of them. You don't take their calls. You don't go where they go. I've even seen people change where they live. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna go and live somewhere else. Right? They move. You move from where you live. You don't associate with the same friends. You're like, no, because if you do not do that, then you've set yourself up for other things. You've set yourself up to be continually, perpetually drained. Right? There are calls today that I don't pick all calls. I don't respond to all emails or whatever. I do not respond to everyone. I don't. Why? Because I recognize energy vampires very, very fast. Even today when I was driving, there was a lady. there was this lady behind me, and she was literally tailgating me. I looked at the mirror, and I smiled. I said, "Oh, this is an energy vampire. It's very early in the morning. I'm out doing my business, and she's here tailgating me because her supply of energy is so low. No, she wants to drain my energy." And I was like, that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So I dealt with that situation positively. I could have stopped, or I could have started arguing or honking and going like, swearing, you're F doing this, and no. I was like, I just chilled out. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna give you my energy. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna allow you to drain me. That's not gonna happen. So I just drove the way I'm supposed to drive. And I went to where I was going, and she went where she was going. She drove to where she was driving to, and that was it. I can't even tell you her face, because one of the other things is when I realize this kind of people have I try not to have an eye contact with people, because I don't want that to have that image in me. I don't want to associate, to have that sort of memory in me. So I was like, oh, it's a woman, but I'm not gonna look you. You're not gonna look into my eye. I'm not gonna look into your eye. I'm not gonna have that in me or with me. No, this is not how I start my day. So there's so many situations in life, but it becomes even worse when it's, say, a neighbor, someone who's very close to you, is a family member, is a spouse, is a child. Right there, I've heard of parents who start, they're so stressed by the thought of their child coming to see them, They're like, oh my God, she's coming to see me. Oh, why? Because she knows every time this child comes, she's always left. It's like she's left drained. This kid comes and drains all her energy, her essence, and leaves her dry, depleted. But it's people have to make those choices. People have to make those choices whether that's what or how they want to live their lives. But especially when it comes to relationships, marriages, or relationships that are just about to lead to marriage, you cannot afford to be spiritually asleep. Because if you're spiritually asleep, you won't understand the reality of what you're involving yourself in and with, because you'll be looking at things emotionally. And these foreign religions, they're emotional, they appeal to your emotions. Have hope that they will change. Jesus will do this. He suffered so that you too are suffering, and all that kind of nonsense. What are you talking about? He suffered and so I must suffer. No one has to suffer. Right? If someone has made certain choices, that it's if they are energy vampires and they know that's who they are, why are you with them? Why are you allowing them? Why would you allow that app to be draining your phone 90% every time? It doesn't make sense. But what if someone tells you, it's fine, don't worry, let's just wait because they keep updating these apps. Let's hope that one day the app developers will deal with this energy thing, with this power thing, where they sort of reduce, have the intake of power, and then you can use your phone for longer. So you keep waiting for 1 year, for 2 years, for 3 years. Africans, black people, energy vampires are real. They are real, and they're there to ensure that they literally drain you. That's how they feed, right? So instead of feeding on blood, no, they feed on your energy. They feed on your essence. Don't you see guys that you work with sometimes when they come to work in the morning and you're like, uh-oh, she looks as if she's been carrying the weight of the country, or he looks as if he's been carrying the weight of the country, just because of one human being, because of their partner. Because before they left the house, the kind of words they received, the kind of stuff that they had from their partner, their words to ensure that they remain depleted, drained the whole day. But who should be blamed? I'm not blaming anybody, but I've spoken to people and I've told people straight up, you're not supposed to be with her. But family members and friends and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, she'll change, he will change, yeah, let's pray, God says this and God says that. But you go to an African seer, an African spiritualist, they'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you the truth, because they say African spirituality is based on science, it's based on knowledge, it's based on reality. It's not spooky. It's not spooky. This is not spooky stuff. They'll tell you that, keep walking and don't look back. Yeah. But we have children, we have this. You keep saying that you have kids. You need to keep walking, because your life is, what they've done is, they've literally taken your essence, your energy, your being, and they've imprisoned it. And every time when they say something to you, it energizes them. Is it not crazy? That people, this kind of people, they sort of have a kick, right? They have a kick by seeing you down. That's when they feel, oh yeah, I've done something amazing. When you're down, when you're suffering, when you're in pain, when you're in sorrow, that's when they feel empowered. Well, now you know who they are. They're energy vampires, and you do not pray against them. You don't pray at all about them. You just need to, when you recognize who they are, you just need to get away from them. Simple. Get away from them. Get a new phone. Move from where you live, right? Just live your life. Thanks for tuning in. This is Holistic African Spirituality, addressing this issue of energy vampires and relationships. I wish you well, and like, share and subscribe. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.